the Politics Watch. This is Sir P. Now this one's a serious, I had to change the beat. Today I'm going to be talking about a man that some of you might be familiar with, others maybe not. I'm going to briefly tell you who this man is. I want you to go and do your own research, come to your own conclusions. I'm going to show you how enough of the story that must surround this man's name, enough of the things that he's often accused of, that start to play out on Jamaican soil. This is going to stretch not just from the current, let's just call it, situation with the Maroons and their claim to sovereignty, but even the University of the West Indies. You're going to want to hang around, hopefully have a cup of coffee, or your tea, or whatever you drink. Check this out. You see the man on your screen right now? That man is George Soros. For some people, he's a hero, the president of the Woketivist Foundation. For others, he's essentially the modern day version of a rolling calf. Just to give you a brief history as to how he earned his reputation. In 1992, and again, remember me did tell people, I want to know, bring your pencil and your paper for this one. In 1992, the United Kingdom had what they call Black Wednesday. The Jamaicans who have been living in the UK long enough might remember this. But in 1992, George Soros essentially broke the British pound. As you can see on your screen, Black Wednesday is known as the day that George Soros bet against the British pound, leading to one of the most catastrophic financial events in modern history. Don't worry, we're not going to understand why this is relevant to current Jamaica. You might think to yourself, alright, but who the man here? Just go and sip on your cup of tea. This man managed to put the UK, the Bank of England, the whole of Britain in a situation to this day where enough people in the country can never forgive him. And when you hear the things that we're going to mention later on regarding the Maroons and the University of the West Indies, you're going to understand why you should be concerned, because if this can happen to the British, if this can happen to the people from Thailand, I'm going to show you next, then imagine the Jamaican government, imagine the Bank of Jamaica, imagine little Jamaica. We can barely deal with some 87s. But it never stopped this one. Look on your screen again. This time, it's Thailand. So after you search for George Soros broke the Bank of England or broke the pound, search for George Soros, Thailand, BAT, B-A-H-T. You probably can't read where you step on the screen. Probably a squint up your eye them. Don't worry. I'll help you out. Let me tell you what it says. The foreign ministers of the 10 Asian countries believe that the well-coordinated manipulation of their currencies was a deliberate attempt to destabilize the Asian economies. Malaysian Prime Minister Mahathir Mohamad accused George Soros of ruining Malaysia's economy with massive currency speculation. The next screen you see, the next thing you see on your screen, what that says, the economic crisis led to a political upheaval, most notably culminating in the resignations of President Suharto in Indonesia and Prime Minister General Shavalit Yongchayud in Thailand. There was a general rise in anti-Western sentiment, with George Soros and the IMF in particular singled out as targets of criticism. As I say, go do your own research. So I give you a brief history, because you know people who support George Soros, oh, people does not like him, they just make a conspiracy. So do no own research. We just want to show us a serious thing and what this man has done and is capable of. Alright, again you ask yourself a question, what does this have to do with Jamaica? In particular, the Maroons and UWI. Well, let's say George Soros and his foundation called the Open Society Foundation has developed a reputation all over the world, for sowing the seeds of division. Anyway, there's little problems, go in, back one side, put a battery pack cause foolishness, as you can see on your screen. Soros has caused tsunamis of upheaval. Tsunamis of upheaval. Recently, the whole talk of Maroon sovereignty has been hot in the media. Right? Remember that? I even did a video a couple days ago. Let us be honest here. You know what really legitimized that statement in the minds of the masses? Right? Because people, they always say things over the years, but you know, when the Jamaican people and even people are foreign really start to accept it as fact that the Maroons are a sovereign group, a sovereign state, a sovereign nation, separate from Jamaica. Jamaican laws not applied or whatever because of the treaty and all them things. You know what make people accept that? It's this video where you see on your screen right now. It appeared on Vice News. As you can see, right, the title goes so long, I cut it out, but it basically said how a sovereign group in Jamaica is fighting a mining company. 1.9 million views. This video has been getting, let me tell you, Vice News has been promoting this video so hard. Come like the video, follow me everywhere me go. How a sovereign group, enough Jamaicans, this is what them see. And them look on them see Vice News, well, that's foreign. Remember me telling about foreign media? Anytime you want Jamaicans believe something, tell a foreign media to tell them. If a Jamaican, tell them say 2 + 2 in Jamaica. Them say, I don't know, I have to think about it. Me make you know. But if them say Vice News, Fox, see anybody, anything with foreign be, well, it must be true. And just like that, a false narrative is accepted as a fact. But again, you think to yourself, I understand, George Soros, Vice News, so what? Okay, so Vice News, they make a mistake. Maybe them just make a mistake. You talk about, you see, you're thinking about the old school Vice when it was a little underground, you know, for the people. Vice News get buy out a long time. Do you know who currently own Vice News? Do you know who just bail out Vice News, Vice Media, after them drop on them knees and the whole company was struggling to stay afloat? Look on your screen right now. You see me really did I scratch my head. Such a major platform take up a Maroon talking point and is now pushing it as a fact. Where this come from? This are gonna make people accept, so well, something goes so. See the Vice News must, cause them cause we most of them a big thing. See that on your screen? Vice Media gets $250 million in debt funding from George Soros. George Soros is now owner in Vice Media, Vice News. So now a George Soros owned entity is pushing a narrative, a false narrative, a downright lie all around the world, causing the seeds of division between the Maroons and quote-unquote the rest of Jamaica to get even worse. As them say, never see smoke without fire. But hold on there. Hold on just a second. What do you mean? The sovereign group, sovereign state, sovereign nation. That's a fact, right? No, it isn't. That's why I asked Chief Richard Curry for show a Maroon passport, and show, because them said the United Nations accept that we're a sovereign nation, show the documents where the member states of the UN agree, right, that there is any such thing, right, as the sovereign state of a compound or the sovereign state, right, of the cockpit country. We'll get into that. Because you see, we already fall for the gimmicks. You're caught in a genjutsu, I'm going to show you how. But first, let's address and settle the sovereign nation thing once and for all. Because you heard recently, Chief Richard Curry say, the Maroons is a separate set of people from Jamaica, and there are certain rights given to them by the British, right? And Jamaican laws not apply to them, and basically the government, right, can't even go tell them nothing, lock up the Maroon because them of them owns that things from the Treaty of 1738 with the British. Look on your screen right now. next thing you should write down to go do your own research, man, was a landmark appeal case. Okay. See that the search for R.V. Man-O-Roe. It's up on your screen, you can't miss it. Court of Appeal, 1956. I'm going to tell you what this appeal was about. Again, look on your screen. It concerns a member of the Maroon communities who the then British colonial government, right, them go in a Maroon, and again you can read it on the screen, right, the appellant was convicted by the resident magistrate for St. Elizabeth on the 19th of March 1956. You don't have to be a history scholar to know say Jamaica was still under the British colonial government at the time. On two informations which charged him respectively with unlawfully having herbs in his possession. Right. Basically, right, because I'm not going to read the whole thing, you can read it for yourself when you do your own research. The evidence showed that on the 23rd of January 1956, the police went to the home of the appellant at a compound in St. Elizabeth. Let me say that again, the police went. This is the British colonial government, right, the JSF of the day, went to the appellant at a compound in St. Elizabeth. They searched his house under the authority of a search warrant and found herbs. Right. Let me skip to the next key part. The appellant, his argument in court was that, well, the government can't lock him up because of the Treaty of 1738. Right. Between the respective governments of the Government of Jamaica and Captain Cudjoe and other leaders of the Maroons. Right. It was further submitted that nowhere in the treaty was it admitted that the Maroons were British subjects. Right. In other words, they must say based on the treaty, the Maroons were under British subjects, so they don't fall under British law. That it created for them rights separate and distinct from those enjoyed at the time by British subjects. In other words, remember, every Jamaican at the time was considered a British subject. That it set up an autonomous district, if not an empire within an empire, that no Jamaica statute passed thereafter could deprive Maroons of the benefits and protection conferred by the treaty. This is his defense. Right. In other words, we have our own separate thing, just like we hear Chief Richard Curry saying now, this man was saying it back then. Right. Because His Majesty having divested himself of all control and created an autonomous district, save and accept as limited in the treaty. This is what the Maroons, right, was saying in the court. Right. State within a state, empire within an empire. I wonder if the British never explained the treaty to the Maroons them properly on a road and mode make it a pass down, because the learned resident magistrate was unconvinced by these submissions. Now, you can do your own research on Google, but I'm going to tell you what the ending, what the summary of this appeal was. Look on your screen. Again, search for R.V. Man-O-Roe, right? In the appeal, they basically make the Maroon know say the British repealed the treaty. The treaty where the Maroon them, right? I said, give them this and give them that. The British repeal it. In your own time, research British repeal Maroon Treaty. Right? Search 1842, right? British repeal Maroon Treaty. Again, do your own research. Here is the summary. To summarize the conclusions we have reached, there is today, in 1956, remember this is not the government of the PNP and the JLP now around the country yet. To summarize the conclusions we have reached, there is today no difference or distinction whatever in rights and obligations as defined by the law of this island between the persons residing in the former Maroon settlements and those of any other British subject in Jamaica. For these reasons, both the appeals were dismissed. In other words, he lose the case. The British government repealed the Maroon Treaty, and then here you have a case where somebody actually try argued, say, remember, say we have the treaty, and the British government in 1956 said, no, there is no such thing as a separate state. There's no such thing as a separate laws. Right? You are not a state within a state. There is no difference between you and any other person on the island. This is not feelings, this is fact. You can do your own research. There is no such thing as a sovereign state, right, where the Maroons have rights and privileges where the rest of Jamaicans don't get. There is only Jamaica. There is no Jamaica and the Maroon state or a compound state within Jamaica or the cockpit country state within Jamaica. There is just Jamaica. We are one people, one nation. There is no other sovereign nation inside of Jamaica. That is a fact. You can feel what you want to feel. Facts not business about your feelings. But now we are here to say sovereign state, and the division is threatening to get worse and worse. I'm just showing you say George Soros own Vice Media, own Vice, and at them right legitimize the argument. Because you know say most people just look on title a video, watch video and say, oh well, foreign news says so, I must so I go. Remember the reputation we have, but I'm going to show you how you fall into this. I hope I stick on the team because the video not even ready to start get serious yet. Right? Don't even ready to start get serious yet. You know what made me start doing some digging? After the first video, when I asked Chief Richard Curry for showing passport, some of the people who were reaching out to me, I was thinking to myself, why are these people from this institution, from these type of entities reaching out, basically telling me if I left it alone? These people are very corporate. The majority come from the corporate world and the quote-unquote academia world. That was very bizarre to me. I've never seen such a response after a video. After all, Chief Richard Curry is supposed to be, right, based on some of the messages I've received, leave the man alone, just a little man in the bush, spending more life in the bush, right, digging from farm and minding his own business and a different. What? That's a false narrative as well. Look on your screen. The former Monroe College student, so a big school him go, quote-unquote top school, big up Monroe, has a first degree in accounting and international business at the University of Technology and an MBA from the Mona School of Business, that's UWI, right? That's a master's. Right. Curry has spent 15 years in finance, marketing and communications. Having worked with PricewaterhouseCoopers, for those of you who don't know, that's a British company, right, as an international auditor, and DB&G as an investment analyst. The 40-year-old has also worked with a number of multinational companies, including Diageo, for those of you who don't know, liquor for them thing, Ray and Nephew, as you know, owned by Campari, right, Consumer Brands, and Lascelles Demarcado. Again, I think a Campari owned them as well. Sounds like a very corporate history, a very corporate background. I mean, the narrative of this little man in the bush, right, you know, just going up against the elites and the corporations, sounds a bit manufactured to me. But people that message me and tell me, say, left him all. So why the man to show your passport? The man spending more life in the bush a dig. It sounds like the old thing he's been digging into is Microsoft Excel, PowerPoint and Word. Ask yourself this question. Have you ever seen such a PR push for anybody? I don't even think Andrew Holness, Mark Bolin get that kind of PR push. As a matter of fact, the first time many of you saw Richard Curry was when Loop News sent a push notification to your phone and say, hey, check out this Maroon leader. Have you ever seen that in your entire life? Have you ever seen the leader of the Maroons, a group that don't even identify as Jamaican, get pushed so much by the Jamaican media? Ever? Please tell me when you've seen it. This is one of the greatest PR campaigns I've ever seen, local and international, to the point that Vice get involved. As them say, if it look too good to be true, it probably is. See, I don't understand how a man who is a Monroe man, a man who go UTech and UWI, all Jamaican institutions, right, suddenly now has this very divisive rhetoric, right? No answer to Jamaica, but hold on there, Mr. Richard Curry. Hold on just a second. Maybe you should tell the people of Jamaica where this massive PR campaign is being funded from. I would especially like to know about that George Soros own company, the one who tell people say you are a sovereign group. You see, let's get something straight about the cockpit country. The narrative that the Maroons are the ones who are standing up for the cockpit country is utter rubbish. People have been fighting let me say that again. The idea that Richard Curry is the one who's standing up for the cockpit country is nonsense. There's people who have been fighting and defending the cockpit country before you've ever heard the name Richard Curry in your entire life. But because that Vice video and because the Jamaican media is pushing this so hard, all of a sudden the narrative changed. Now it's to a point where it's Richard Curry and the Maroons who are standing up for the cockpit country. Let's get something straight as well. The cockpit country don't belong to the JLP. The cockpit country don't belong to the PNP. The cockpit country don't belong to the Maroons. The cockpit country belongs to Jamaica. Let me say that again. The cockpit country belongs to Jamaica. Jamaicans have been defending the cockpit country and saying, mine won't do down there so. No run no joke with the cockpit country for years. And in one move, Vice News changed the narrative. In one move, to the point that even people who made the things that have sense and now see a seat, look all nobody never and know that's complete nonsense. You see the whole, this is our territory, our laws, we do one thing, is because once Richard Curry and the Maroons can cement the idea that they own the cockpit country, then whatever happened afterwards to it, whatever benefit, whatever financial gain will come from it, would fall exclusively at the foot of the Maroons. Chief Curry wants peace but prepare to fight. Fight what? Fight who? Chief Richard Curry, we are one people. I know say, you probably convincing yourself. Right? Say, we don't like them, we are nothing like them. Right? But this sound like a two nation state, like a Pakistan versus India, Israel versus, but like this is, we are one. What kind of wants peace but prepare to fight? What kind of fight? I mean wants peace. Nobody is at war with the Maroons. And if you know what about the video clip of the policeman them, right? What did have the standoff for the people them? What you saw in that video was extraordinary restraint on the half of the police officers. That now look like them launched a major operation to go do nothing to the Maroons. And the timing of that video clip was extremely spooky. Especially considering that Chief Richard Curry and the Maroons dictated the narrative. See it, the Maroon in Poway, and then he went on to state, now he entered to Jamaica, right, and all this. So, remember earlier, one of the problems people have with George Soros is that things that are attached to him, whether it be the media or in foundation, however, have a way of throwing gas oil on fire. Remember, I'm telling you, it is that Vice News video that really solidify the narrative of Chief Richard Curry a push. People see things on the local media, but when it reaches from Vice, that's when Jamaicans sit down and take notice and accept what they might hear as fact. So why is it so troubling that a George Soros owned media company is pushing such divisive rhetoric, pushing such a divisive narrative? I'll tell you why. How many history students can tell me who that is on your screen right now? That man is Colonel Fife with 6 Maroons. You see him sitting and pack up in foot them? Maroons them where they run him. You know who that man is? That was the man who did most of the damage to Paul Bogle and the slaves who rebelled in the Morant Bay Rebellion. Google the Morant Bay Rebellion for yourself. Every Jamaican should know this, but most Jamaicans clearly don't know them history. Because mere people are painting the idea that the Maroons are some kind of pro-black group who, the Maroons have always been pro-Maroons who just so happen to be black. That's a fact. Let me read what up on the screen. Right? Just so you understand why this whole pushing the idea that Maroons are sovereign and separate from Jamaica, right, and money are spent. Let me tell you why it's a problem. Let's go back to the Morant Bay Rebellion. Again, go do your own research. Right? But after the flare up go on, right, and the people them decide to say them not take it no more. Right? St. Thomas when things get serious, look on your screen. In response, the governor sent government troops under Brigadier General Alexander Nelson to hunt down the poorly armed rebels and bring Paul Bogle, back to Morant Bay for trial. The troops met no organized resistance. Again, of course, these people were not warriors. Right, these people that stand up and defend their rights. Right, whether they knew having the rights, just defend them freedom. But they killed blacks indiscriminately, most of whom had not been involved in either the riot at the courthouse or later rebellion. People who never even involved in the Morant Bay rebellion. Did I get it? Human has described it as a reign of terror. Now you see the part to underline? The Jamaican Maroons of Moortown, and again for those of you who don't know, the Maroons are not a single group where all of them were on the same page. Some Maroons were against working with the British for target other rebels, and others teamed up with them. The ones that you hear proudly brag about the treaty and the British give you this, and those are the ones, those are the ones who descended from the ones who helped to annihilate their own kind. The Jamaican Maroons of Moortown, under the command of Charlestown Superintendent Alexander Fife, that's the man you see in the picture, committed a number of atrocities. Hear that? A number of atrocities and extrajudicial murders before they captured and arrested Bogle and delivered him to the colonial authorities. Believing that the blacks could not have planned such events themselves. In other words, black people too fool for plan a rebellion like that. Governor John Ira Eyre had Representative George William Gordon arrested. The mixed-race Jamaican businessman and politician was wealthy and well-known. He was openly critical of the governor and his policies. The governor believed that Gordon had been behind the rebellion. Despite having very little to do with it, Gordon was quickly convicted and executed. After that, go and read up on Sam Sharp, how he lost his life. Guess who also took part directly in that? The Maroons. Sam Sharp, Paul Bogle, George William Gordon lost their life as a result of the Maroons using their military skills to aid and abet the then British colonial government to capture and do all manner of evil against people who look exactly like them. One of the greatest acts of race treachery in history. But because modern Jamaicans don't know state history, people are now trying to paint the Maroons as some symbol of pro-blackness. So when the said group is responsible directly for wiping out 3 of the 7 national heroes, is now saying, we're not even part of Jamaica, we can do what we want to do, when we can't tell you nothing, there is reason to be concerned, especially when George Soros is in the mix. But don't get too caught up on the Maroons, focus on George Soros. Focus on the puppet master. All this information, you can go find it for yourself, because you probably think to yourself, alright, me what you say about suppose that was pure chance. I mean, George Soros not nothing to do with Jamaica, right? Why would this be? I just purely buck up the Vice News, right? Just happen to cover the Maroons and just so happen to. Really? George Soros is not operating in Jamaica? His Charitrix operation is not in Jamaica? Google George Soros Open Society Foundation. What at the on your screen? The UWI and Open Society Foundations signed landmark MOU, that's the Memorandum of Understanding, to deepen collaboration. Look on your screen again. Google this. Whatever you use, Bing, do your own research. Just check this out. And I want the UWI students to listen to this. Send this to a friend them and ask them if they're aware of this. And ask the parents them to suffer so hard to send Pitney or UWI. Look on your screen. The Open Society Foundation was founded by one of the world's foremost philanthropists. One of the world's foremost charity tricksters, George Soros, who has donated over US $32 billion to help build societies across the globe by promoting justice, democratic governance, and human rights. That's a woke activist. Right? You know, he walked the all this through very powerful words that when actually look on the actions are different thing, but never mind. Focus on the part underlining and read. Take your time and read it. Those who can't read or can't see probably, me read it for you. Over the past 6 years, the UWI has worked with Open Society and received grant funding that supported groundbreaking child development research, successful strategic litigation for decriminalizing what? Decriminalizing smart relationships. Go and go read the rest of the article before them take it down. Do no screenshots because they might, you never know. This not depend no Jamaican mainstream news source. The Jamaican media we can't stop push Chief Richard Curry. Don't think it is worth making the people of Jamaica know say the UWI signed deal with George Soros Foundation to support groundbreaking child development research. Which child development research is that? Unsuccessful strategic litigation for decriminalizing CM Wawa? Who what? Decriminalizing what? You will take money from George Soros to decriminalize what? See it up on the screen, go Google it for yourself. George Soros open bid operating on Jamaican soil. The man I'm telling about broke the Bank of England. What the Asian countries them said, this brother here cause political upheaval. But people are say, beware cherry tricks because upheaval, tsunami of upheaval. Right? Back one side, make this side, go against the next side. Over the past 6 years, I know nothing new. 6 years? UWI? Hold on there. Isn't this the same UWI where if people owe $1, then can't get this, then can't get that, then can't go so, then can't get... UWI take money from George Soros. The amount of people who can't go UWI because them now have the money, then can't afford this. And the where UWI and George Soros them sit down and decide that the money should be spent on is groundbreaking child development research and successful litigation with decriminalizing. And when you read the side, he mentioned about decriminalizing herbs and all them. Hold on. First of all, I don't know if foreigners get involved about Jamaica's already started with decriminalize, and we see say the whole decriminalized herb thing has not benefited Jamaica as a whole, right? Has not benefited the people as a whole. We see say at the same foreign man them, right? Are the biggest food off fight, or even the Jamaicans who are at the very top. Average man in the street, whether criminalized or decriminalized, could not even tell a difference. That's what UWI sit down with billionaire and ash out deal for. Where the UWI students them there? Where the UWI parents them there? Parents that can't get them picking on you because UWI I do deal with man. Well, give how much billions and how much hundreds of millions. And this is the conclusion then come to say this is what we need. Child development research. The Jamaica needs George Soros to fund child development research and decriminalizing speculation. Go look for it for yourself. Being operated. And by the way, which institution your favorite chief to go do in masters again? Alright. Interesting. Very interesting. You never see smoke without fire. So are you telling me the people of Jamaica should not be concerned? Why is this not in the news? Why is the mainstream news? Why we can't find 50 articles about this? When we look, me see a newspaper in a Trinidad post it. Look what them post. Remember now, when you see what them say, right? Them are going to do groundbreaking child development, right? Decriminalizing. Right, look what the newspaper in a Trinidad report. And remember, the thing on me I show now, I come directly off. This is UWI owner internal thing, right? Where you can, as it stands, go up on them site and read through and search it and find it, right? That's what UWI themselves say. This is not somebody that say them feel say, right? They might try decriminalize or this is what UWI actually say. But look what the newspaper in Trinidad say. In September 2020, we hear that UWI signed a memorandum of understanding With the Open Society Foundation, the highest funded private foundation in the world. We can't get over this. You will link up with the highest funded private foundation in the world, knowing how much students them have. They want help and grants and whatever. And this, anyway, never mind. I show them PR team, if them business enough to address it, I go tell you everything you want here. But look what them say. Which is committed to working with like-minded entities globally to promote justice, democratic governance, and human rights. Hold on. What the part about child development there? What the part about decriminalizing speculation? Go look for it yourself. The man them dress it up and smooth it out, promote justice, democratic governance. Who shot at them? What? Human right? Worktivists, worktivists love through out these very powerful terms. What the part about, I wonder if you see how the media operate. I wonder if you see how the favorite media operate. This is a man who saw time own a mouth, so he might try bring in a new world order. Look on your screen. Again, don't take my word for it. I'm just a local YouTuber. A common treasury for the Eurozone. This is one time Europe they go through them things. 2. Putting major banks under European central direction. 3. Cheap debt refinancing for countries like Italy and Spain. Soros' 3-step program is focused specifically on the resolving the problems in Eurozone. But it's similar to Soros' vision of a new world order, which he has promoted for years. He made that clear, so that him depend. Again, do your own research. Search for all them things you want me say. Search for everything what me say. George Soros and him charity separation has been in Jamaica's backyard this whole time. You hear them say the past 6 years. What has been happening in that 6 years? We don't even know the half, and this is what them put out in a them statement. We already would have get polished up on PR ready. Imagine we don't know. Never see smoke without fire. Let me tell you something. Let me say this statement again. As it relates to the cockpit country, nobody not own a cockpit country also. Andrew Holness, Mark Golding, Chief Richard, nobody not own a cockpit country also. That belongs to Jamaica. Right. Jamaicans have been defending the cockpit country. Next thing, there is no such thing as a sovereign state. Right. Of a compound or the sovereign state of the cockpit country. Not the name so. I asked Chief Richard Curry to show him passport, the maroon passport, but other countries in the United Nations accept. People are trying to say, oh, but the Maroons have autonomy. First of all, autonomy does not mean sovereign. Google it and search for yourself. Two completely different things. But from the document I'm going to show you, the Court of Appeal, according to Jamaican law, the Maroons don't even have autonomy. That is also a myth. Facts don't care about your feelings. So get upset and hit the dislike button all you want. Right? Because you know what, Charlie could one big video upon Vice News and turn in a groupie. Because he fell for the swag. He fell for the image. Chief Richard Curry, there's no such thing as the Maroon state in Jamaica state. There's just Jamaica, and we're Jamaicans. The Maroon people have never, even so much as offer, remorse for what happened. When the Maroons played a direct role in wiping out not just 3 or 4 national heroes, but how many Jamaicans? They defended them, say, well, we have a treaty and that was a deal. Jamaicans demand that the British and the French and the Germans apologize for what their ancestors did. But Jamaicans not apologize. Jamaicans demand for the Maroons apologize what they did to Paul Bogle. And what they make happen to George William Gordon. And what happened to Sam Sharp. We're one people. But the idea is like, oh, we're not like those group of niggers. Because the British and they give you this and we're one group of people. This divisive rhetoric, this divisive narrative. No me start to look on it. No me start to see the connections. No me start to see why Vice News, an entity that have all the money in the world for research and find everything, way more than me can find, would push such an obvious lie. Single enough sovereign group. You know, I don't know a single Jamaican that hasn't been pushing back against the cockpit country, right? Getting damaged in any way. I don't know a single Jamaican who don't support that. It's a false narrative. So all you people who now donate money for save cockpit country to the sovereign state of cockpit, chop you get chop. There's no such thing as a sovereign state within the sovereign state of Jamaica. In 1962, now it started to make sense why the British and the Jamaican government, as it was transitioning, didn't even bother announcing what going to happen in terms of Maroons being arrested and all that and being tried by the law, because there was nothing to discuss. They repealed the treaty from Wapikil-Philo. And in 1956, document proved that. But your favorite rolling calf, George Soros, team organization them, right, has now put a battery pack, a Duracell, 3, 4, 5 of them in the back of a narrative, and it now stop. A group of people who we know frightened for foreign and frightened for anything them sleep on foreign platforms. Even to the point where they're now siding with people who don't even identify with them, trying to rewrite history. You never see smoke without fire. Why don't they jump up on a worry about the big C and worry about, oh, which celebrity are breed for who and who take who for girl and which new song drop right under your nose? UWI signed MOU with George Soros Fund to decriminalize what? And before I finish it, let me say this. You know why that is also a smoke screen? Because in Jamaica, technically, it is not even criminalized. What is criminalized is the act, the Boogie Act. That's what's criminalized. A police can't actually lock up nobody if you say a man dead man or a woman dead man. I promise you. There is no such law. No woman can go to station. And when they say, where are they? Police lock me up. Why? Because I'm dead on a woman. There's no law on the books. Where them are decriminalized. Smoke screen. And you tell me say the experts them you don't know that? So it's just the Boogie Act that is criminalized. That don't even, man. I want to realize what, man. People of Jamaica understand the amount of picnic can go in the UAE because the money issues and your favorite university sign big deal. And I don't think that them are focused on justice and one party said racial injustice. What? $32 billion globally. Someone like them could have wiped out the amount of come like the Open Society Foundation. Them literally sound like them rich enough to wipe out everybody's student loan debt in Jamaica in a one go. Money for dash way. And at that them are investing in justice and human rights. Before the video I want to thank Chief Richard Curry. I also want to thank the people from the big corporations that will reach out to me. I also want to thank the so-called scholars from UWI who will reach out to me as well and tell me them feelings. So-called educated people that try to present argument based on feelings. And when time I present the facts back to them, say this happened in this case, R versus Monroe, they kept going, yeah, but that no means say we need to just hold on, you people are scholars, it's supposed to be grounded on evidence and facts and reason. No, me I start this to why. It look like a one link. The reason why I say thank these people is because me never know say George Soros and him charity operation that operate in Jamaica. It was when I started getting certain message from certain people. That is what motivated me to start dig. And I saw me dig and buck up in this. So I thank you, Chief Richard Curry. Chief, I am forever in your debt. And the people of Jamaica are also forever in your debt. Me never know. But some people, especially Soros supporters, I'm gonna say, so what? Yes, me know I'm a bad mind cause me wish me was billionaire too. I've heard all the narratives before. There's information. You take it or you want to take it. Tell Soros and him friend them. So them child development research. And them keep on the dirty on them off of Jamaica. People of Jamaica. When you see where the man can go to the UK, Thailand, Asia, doing the research and then wonder, what really a play out in Jamaica? I'm gonna have a reputation of destabilized to the point where if you even Google the man name and put destabilized beside it, you find a PR site that is designed to tell us say no, not go so. Everything he's ever been accused of, there's like a side that tell us say, no man, I lie the man tell not go so. When you watch something like this in your life, when the business would it want to be 87, 90, 116 or 1016, which is what George Soros is. Anybody who threatens to destabilize Jamaica, whether it want to be politically, economically, socially, you go get, call out. These people are very powerful people. This is not Junker Nation. This is not your favorite artist who only talk big and talk bad. But them knows they push come to shove. Even if my son be right in front of them and tell them say, Aminium Sir P, let's do this right here, right now. If them are surrounded by the whole of them friend them, or they can't run go call somebody, or run go put out a hit, and them won't do a single thing. Your favorite done only a talk bad. All this Sir P will tell me catch you, for them thing is for hire man to go up on apps and hope say the man them pull it off successfully. Me not send man on apps. Them type of people there are the only people who really pose a threat to me. So when you see them type of video, understand why. Me need a whole day to prepare. So me can make sure certain things in order, and me can make sure say my cyber proxy know say like how everything in a film name this might happen. And should anything happen, remember the plan. See when you hear me talk about special ops. Times like this, like we have to go move into Black Ops. Because you might think the movement is solid now, but this isn't even my final form. Anyway, Patreon Squad, big up on yourself. PIA, you don't know, no life. Vulture Squad, stay circling. Bless.